Stop. Look at me. Watch me in my eyes and listen to the words that I'm saying. Have you ever stopped and think about how selfish you are? Think about it. Have you ever really deeply think about that? How selfish you are as a person? I have multiple times. But how often do we ever stop to think about that? We're always thinking about everybody else and what they do to us. But have you ever really stopped and think about what you do to people? Have you ever fully accepted what you do to people? As nice as you might think you are, as good as you might think you aren't. None of us really are. Even those of us who have found Christ still falter. And even if you ain't find Christ, those of us who are just naturally nice, we'll still falter. We hurt somebody out there. That's just the premise of the world that we live in. Things hurting things. For what? Self-interest. Have you ever thought about how selfish we are? We are selfish beings. We only care about self most of the times. When we eat, how much food we might have, or desires, money, a person, what we want a person to do, how we want a person to act, what we want a person to do to us. It's all selfish. It's all selfish desires. And to say that you ain't selfish, even when you're going out there like giving to people and you helping people and stuff like that, it's still selfish. Even though you're helping people, it's just a different form of selfishness. That selfishness is about boosting your own self. Now, some of you might say, no, it's not about boosting myself. It still is. When you get down to the crusp of it, when you go deep, 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 deep down inside of it, it still is about how you feel at the end of the day, because you feel good helping people. So no matter how we try to run from it, we're just selfish beings. A baby, when a baby is born, now don't take this wrong, babies need to be taken care of. But when a baby is born, the first thing a baby do is cry. Why? Because it just entered this world, right? And it feeling all these different feelings and hunger and taking in its first real oxygenated air. And that's just a cry for itself. It's not a cry for you or a cry for anything else. Yes, you might react to the crying and be like, I have to do something for this baby. But it's all from self. We are all selfish. We came into this world selfish. And I have a theory that, sin itself is feeding on that selfish nature that is in us. That's my theory. I find that the deeper we go into things and the more you think about things is the more you could tie things back to what Christianity and even certain other religions might talk about, because these is things that are deeply embedded in us. We always think we're right most of the times. Most of us don't have the emotional control to stop even when you feel like you're right and listen to another person that you think is wrong. Most of us don't have that ability. And I see it a lot of times when I deal with people, when I interacting with them. I'd have my strong beliefs, but I could stop myself in the middle of my beliefs, even though I know where you're going with your story, even though I know exactly what you're talking about, even though I think your thing might be wrong, and listen to where it's coming from. And that is something that is hard to do. And I don't get to do all the time, but it's hard to do. But when you're doing that, that's you coming out of yourself. That's you coming above yourself and looking at you and looking at a person, right? Without judgment. Without judgment. Because when you go to judgment, that's self again. Because you're only judging because you're worrying about what you believe and not where the person coming from. When you're judging somebody else, you're only judging them because you think your way is the right and only way. Be selfish. But I just want to bring a little awareness. Have you ever stopped to think about how selfish you are? We have to do that sometime to realign ourselves, to bring ourselves back into reality, you know? Because we are all selfish. We all don't want to get hurt. But then we will hurt people. And we will find an excuse to be like, oh, yeah, well, the reason why I hurt them is because them hurt me first. Or the reason why I decided to, have this hate towards them is because they did this to me. People are always doing something to somebody. We are always doing something to somebody. And that's how the cycle continues. This thing is deep. This thing go real deep. Real deep. But a lot of people don't stop to think. Stop to be aware. Stop to have a revelation with yourself. Stop to have a conversation with yourself. People just do things. We just get up and do this, get up and do that. And we never stop to think about all the destruction that we causing around us. Destruction to other people. Destruction to ourselves. Destruction to the world overall. We selfish. We full of ego. We always worried about ourselves. But when you look around, everything is worried about themselves. The trees, the animals. They have trees that wrap their vines around other trees just so that they could survive and kill the other trees that they wrap their vines around. The lizard would get up and eat the cricket because he need to eat. The lion would hunt down the zebra because he need to eat. So this thing run real deep. This thing run real deep. This selfish thing that is in us. And I don't think that the world is meant to be this way. Which is why we have all this pain, destruction, murder, killing, loss, drugs, pleasure. It's all selfish. And I partake in it too. It's just crazy to be a partaker of it, but also being aware of it. And that has been part of my story my whole life. But because I'm aware, I consider myself a little bit better than the average bear that is not aware. I could stop myself in certain moments and certain times from participating in all this selfishness that is surrounding us. We'd all say, yeah, we want to help people. But if you can't help yourself first, you don't give a shit about helping somebody else. And some people have a lower threshold. Some people would help and still, not have much. There's people like that. But at the end of the day, still, somebody like that still feels good that they were able to do that. which is better than somebody that have a lot and could give and just choose not to. But at the end of the day, have you stopped to think about how selfish you are as a person? That's just my little message for today. Peace.